What's good, everybody? It's your man Dale saying, how y'all doing out there? This is a story that's news to me. I guess this broke a couple months ago. I didn't know about it because I was on my forced vacation, um, the Hillsborough County Jail. Right? I was gone for a couple months, right? I was gone for 65 days. It just popped up in my feed. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Abba from Abba and Preach. Done got called out on some, I guess you would call it red pill stuff. Messing with women, essay allegations. Yo, let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed, man. So what's going on here, bro? Is this the truth about Abba, or is this fair criticism or character assassination, right? So, like, the truth about this, man, like the truth about Abba from Abba and Preach, is it fair criticism or is it just character assassination, man? It's character assassination. So, what am I talking about here, man? For years, Abba and Preach have built a reputation for calling out hypocrisy in the Manosphere. They go hard, bro. They've gone after everybody, man, especially Fresh and Fit. Especially Fresh and Fit. And we talked about this. And I'm not saying that Myron and Fresh are angels or anything like that. But one of the first major creators that really came from Myron and Fresh was Abba and Preach. Abba was in studio with some very snaky behavior, if you ask me, with every intent of exposing these guys, quote unquote. Preach wouldn't even come to the studio. I don't know if he had something planned, just didn't want to go. I don't know. But they had a video link with Preach, and Preach, you could tell from his body language, he was not with what Fresh and Fit was talking about and preaching at the time. So that turned into a real big thing. A real big thing. It got to a point where even Myron said he went too far when he attacked Preacher's wife, and they like showed pictures of her. I guess she's like a big lady. I mean, she fits into 75% of America according to them. I haven't seen the lady, I don't know, but 75% of this country is either overweight or obese. So he drugged this lady into it that had nothing to do with it. He even went on to apologize for his actions and all that, right? But I remember Abba and Preach coming after Fresh and Fit first. And it was, and continue to come after them dudes and make tons of money on it. Right. So now the spotlight's on Abba. And I didn't know this, bro. Right. Is he being held accountable? Or is the internet enjoying watching another successful creator get dragged? Right. So today we're going to be reacting to a video that argues that Abba has become the very type of person he spent years criticizing. Right. And I would argue that Abba's always been that person. he ain't become nothing. Y'all just got to see the truth. He's always been that dude, right? That's kind of, Abba is from that comic world, got into YouTube. So people, they build a persona and they put it out there. And then you never know, is that the real person or there's someone else behind the scenes? And if you know how to look, if you can watch closely, you can see when someone's, I'm not necessarily saying a snake, but on some kind of snake behavior. You can tell when you're dealing with a dude who went from being virtually invisible, not really having a lot of, interaction with women, especially intimacy, maybe some, but not a lot. And certainly not the type of, women, the caliber of women changes. You can tell if you watch him, you can tell Abba ain't used to that. Abba ain't never dealt with that. So he's no different than Myron and Fresh. Right. And it's in fact, he's using some of the tactics that he accused Myron and Fresh of using. Crazy work, man. So this is what we're gonna talk about today, man. I'm just kind of blown away when I saw this last night. Like, yo, I had no idea. So what are the allegations, right? So let's establish what actually is being claimed here. The creator alleges Abba presented himself as morally superior. His dating behaviors contradict his public messaging. His platform and influence may have been used to meet women. He criticized behavior he allegedly engaged in himself. So we're going to kind of get in that. And just a quick important reminder: these are just allegations, guys. There's no proof. I'm not here trying to convict anyone or anything like that. Just want to examine the evidence, examine not even the evidence, like what's being said. Let's look at the receipts and ask whether this criticism is fair, right? So that's pretty much what we're trying to do right now. And you're gonna be looking at me. I might seem to be really enjoying this because I mean it's just wild. It was just something about that dude. I never met Abba. I only know maybe a handful of people that ever came across dude, and that was a long time ago when they was trying to do comedy. So I don't know. I just got to just my take on that. Right from the very beginning, dude, the way he was moving, the way he would talk, the way he would do his thing. You know, that's his thing. And bro, do not throw rocks if you're living in a glass house, man. I would just say that. So just real quick before we guys get into it, you guys can put this answer in the comments if you're watching, if you could be so kind. Should public figures be judged differently than private people? First of all, and secondly, are YouTubers public figures? Right, they might be popular, but are they technically public figures? Let me know. Yes, no, depends. Let me know in the comments below. Appreciate that, and do me a favor if you don't mind. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, notification bell. Share this with a friend, all that good stuff, because it really does help the algorithm. And the algorithm right now really isn't showing me that much love, but we're slowly chipping away at it, y'all. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. So I guess the big thing is gonna be the hypocrisy question. So the biggest accusation isn't really about dating, it's about consistency. The internet usually forgives mistakes, but it rarely forgives people who are saying one thing, doing another, right? So hypocrisy, really, people punish that more than they punish bad content. So why is hypocrisy creates bigger backlash than bad behavior itself? Like, why is that a thing? Can you guys let me know? Because I mean, when I look at stuff like this, most of the time I'm just kind of like, it's par for the course. If a politician gets caught doing wild stuff, especially those politicians who are like Bible thumping, Jesus loving, here's my family and all my kids, and then they get caught cross dressing or wearing a furry outfit and getting banged by some dude, I'm just gonna, I'm like, par for the course, right? But a lot of people really hate that sort of stuff, and I'm just wondering why. And like we said, politicians, pastors, relationship coaches, fitness influencers, financial gurus, why is it people come for them so hard, right? So yeah, so what I would like to do now, guys, I would like to just let's watch this video. Let me share it with you real quick. Let's watch this video and kind of see what's going on here. Right? Kind of already have an idea. This sort of thing, I mean, we've seen it a million times. If you're in these YouTube trenches, this isn't something that's brand new. We've seen this a million times. So, let's see what's going on with this video they're talking about and what's being alleged and who's pointing the finger and all that good stuff. Yeah. So here we go.
Like, maybe I left him.
I was pregnant in Montreal.
Team, especially spearheaded by ABBA. Illusion of being the morally upstanding content creators on the platform, that illusion has now been shattered. So we're going to keep it 100 and look at this liability audit with ABBA and Preach Brand, specifically ABBA, and what his actions, what type of ramifications it will lead into after he's been uncovered to be like a replica of the people he's been criticizing over the years, when he is the same type of person, archetype that they are as well.
Then there's Stephanie, a young lady that lives in Switzerland.
Girl, you can't get people pregnant. How is that, like, truthful? That's not being truthful.
The matter of the fact is that he's the common denominator.
That the same type of people he has been criticizing over the years, when the evidence has shown that
Lady, North Carolina, and then
Well, they all
there's
fine,
also-
ain't they?
Yeah, around 119.
And not only has the Abba Preach been the moral, upstanding type of content creation brand out there, but it just goes to show you when the guys that portray themselves to be the nice guys use tactics and strategies when having relationships with women, moving, speaking, texting, interacting the same way as the same people they have been leveling criticisms against.
If you guys want to do this thing where you go in and rock, because I know a lot of you guys like doing it, have conversations about whether or not she's on birth control, because it seems like she's clearly communicating. He's not.
Oh, this is not
consistent.
aging well.
So when you're out here not moving as your authentic self and portraying your brand as arbiter of the truth, or at least close representative to the truth as possible, then you have to adhere to the same standards that you apply to everyone that you've been levying criticism against.
Me and Destiny have spoken about his dating behavior. He prioritizes his own selfish desires over other people's well-being, over what's good for his business and his career, and now it's costing him more. I say the same thing about Destiny. I think he can be self-destructive, and I don't think you would entirely disagree.
Completely disagree. I don't think I'm self-destructive at all.
To some degree, your hedonism doesn't bite you.
Nope. I think I have a really good engagement with most of my hobbies. I think I do it pretty well.
Preach have learned this the hard way, and we're talking specifically of Abba at List, where his actions over a couple months, and hey, I'm a fan of Abba and Preach. Well, it just shows that it's an inauthentic representation, leaving some of us fans wondering who really is the real Abba.
See the after effect of most of your hookups and your interactions leaving a trail of broken hearts and disappointed people. That's a moral failing. I can still look at that behavior and like, yo, you just spend time dating these women and it's just hurting all of them. You have no intentions of committing to most of them. This is all fun. You know, it's nothing responsible. You're an irresponsible person.
Abba and Preach, and a lot of times Abba himself, positions himself to be the morally superior content creator versus all the other content creators that they've been talking about. You can't be saying one thing on the other hand, telling people they have to live up to a moral higher standard, but on the other hand, the flip side, you're out there moving kind of reckless.
Abba used the company's brand to find this young lady, fly her out to Montreal, and he flew to Switzerland. Inside her, because your brand is being used by your business partner to create public scandals. He's using Abba and Preach to scout women. And he not only did that with Stephanie, he also did that with
Yo, this is the thing. When you're a content creator, if you decide to take the moral high ground, man, you really got to watch how you're moving in these streets. Of course, he's using his brand, his fame, his clout, his money to get women. And you notice all these women are dimes. They are baddies. He's never, in my opinion, I guarantee you, he's never dealt with this caliber of woman before. And the whole planet is his playground. He's flying people to Montreal. He's flying to Europe, right? Like, bro, you should have went to Thailand. You should have went to the Philippines. You should have went to, Brazil or Colombia and just use your bread and holler at them chicks down there just as fine. Right? But you don't want to do that because, you sound like a passport bro. You want to talk about the passport bros. You want to talk about fresh and fit. You want to talk about exactly what you're doing now, right? Y'all heard it coming out of his mouth. This is a tough one for him. So I mean, how do you bounce back? I don't know. Maybe he should just come out and say, "Hey, man, Abba's not me when I'm on my platform. I'm acting. That's not. I'm not a wild boy Hollywood type, right? I'm out here doing my thing. You can't blame me. Yeah, I'm using money and I'm lying to these chicks and I'm shooting up the club. I'm busting all up in them.
in Azria, the Amazon.
The same type of criticism going against all these other content creators that have been dealing with women on their platforms in their personal life. It just shows you nice guys, the morally upstanding guys, are the same type of individual on different sides of the coin, but on the same coin.
And as soon as he gets his chance to do the same thing the players were doing, he's way worse than any of the men that they were criticizing. Mr. Nice Guy, you were doing it at the exact same time you were preaching against it. You were doing it times 4, times 5, whenever, wherever, however you could get it. That's the issue that men got with you.
So,
hey, bro, real talk. That's an excellent point. While you're on your moral high horse, talking down to these dudes, making money off of these dudes, and they're suffering, you're doing the exact same thing. Same thing. Wow. It's like, what? You're doing the exact same thing. To me, this is a certain type of person that does. I mean, you got to be a certain type of person to be able to move like that. But I guess we all do that, right? Because we present ourselves as one person outside, and then inside we're completely different. So, you know, you have those guys who present as like the perfect parent, the perfect dad, the perfect husband. And, you know, you got the wife and the kids, and he's always at the games, and he's doing the cheerleading routine with his daughter and all that. But then that same dude might get caught up on the other side of town with some 304 doing some nasty, or come to find out he got a whole nother family somewhere. And here's the thing. What we talk about over here on I Really Want to Know podcast on this platform, if you're going to do that, I'm saying the choice is yours. Just be upfront about it, man. Let everybody know what's going on so everybody can make their decision. They can make their decision. I say what Abba was doing is way worse than what these other cats are doing, right? Because the other cats know what they're doing, and they know it's wrong on some level. They know they slide, they doing whatever. Some of the guys might be telling the truth or whatever. They're players, they're in the game. Abba's on that, I ain't in the game, and you boys are wrong. Why is he telling people that? So he can get paid, because he got all these blue pillars, all these regular folks, all these ladies, all these dudes who are like, yeah, beat up on the red pill guys. Yeah, they're the boogeyman. Yeah, you're our hero. Then he slide into their DMs and doing the exact same thing that the red pill guys are doing.
Essentially doing is a bit of moral grandstanding. And that moral grandstanding becomes moral brand assets in the videos that you create, the messages that you share with your audience. But when you're out here moving reckless and contradicting everything to your morally superior videos or your moral brand assets, those core business assets can be seen as toxic. And are they really the real authentic message of Abba and Preach?
You know, I'm happy with the fact that I'm happy with the fact that it's professional and that we set for more people, because I hate the idea that I just shot a woman and only sex. I mean, we collabed online. We did a stream together. She would ask me for advice about different things. We talk about our lives. It's cool. There'd be some flirting here and there. So yeah, 2 times.
The problem with this is that while Abba was in a full-on beef with Fresh and Fit, he was doing the same things that he was complaining about them doing, which doesn't make it better. It still makes it pretty bad.
And some of you polite savages may ask, what is moral grandstanding? And let me go and fill you in on this. Moral grandstanding is the act of using public moral discussions to seek social status or impress an audience rather than to genuinely advance a cause, where the goal is highly moral, empathetic to the cause that they are championing. The key characteristics to moral grandstanding is the status seeking. The primary goal is to boost one's own image or brand rather than help others. As we are looking at this through the auditor perspective, we can see that the Abba and Preach brand is not being as authentic as they really truly are and employing methods of moral grandstanding.
A lot of you guys are just people, no birth control. They're not on birth control, don't care. And then hit the fan, you just looking at the ladies like, yo, take a pill. Casually saying, yo, just take a pill, do this. Y'all are so irresponsible about it. I don't even care if you guys get caught up having to pay child support.
Abba, I feel like you should just come out and like
8 Mile yourself, bro. I done had 8 girls I just can't stop. And then these chicks that I fly out after knowing them for like a week.
Once again, I'm going to say Abba is one of my favorite content creators, but he has been weaponizing his own moral ethics and sharing his worldview and his opinions on others on these videos, which is in effect showing that your morals, your position on the matter is more just and is more good and opposite to the people they've been criticizing against. So when he's weaponizing his ethics to play the big brother, he has to act like the big brother, leading people to becoming moral people themselves. Now, Abba has many good takes, but when it comes to it, the content creators that he's been criticizing, like Destiny, the Fresh and Fit brand, and all these other Manosphere type of content creators, well, it just shows us that actions do speak louder than words.
But I'm just not really interested in showing my own medical tests on the internet. Listen, after my relationship with Libby ended, I'm not gonna lie, I was moving a bit crazy.
But the bad thing is brand management. You see, your brand is something that you've built up over a decade. You and Preach, high-level commentary, accountability, the level-headed guys in the room, anti-this and anti-that, no pill zone. But what's really going on, my guy, is that you're kind of acting like the guys that you were upset at. Okay, yes, the rhetoric is different. Maybe you're more egalitarian, but what you're not doing is the right thing, apparently, to a lot of these folks. Or even if it was the right thing, it's definitely not the transparent thing. And this is why we shouldn't go out here and acting like we're holier than thou. But when it comes down to it and you kind of act like you acted, when you were there on Destiny's.
Told him I wouldn't show up on any of his stuff in the future, probably for the best. But I just don't want to be associated with it.
You were on Freshest.
Today on episode 2 of Surviving Fresh and Fit, I want to get to the bottom of this. Inside of sugar. And now all of a sudden he's been trapped. He don't want to be a dad. You have decided that you are not going to pull out of her. You are not going to pull out of fatherhood.
Care the baby.
You are not going to pull out of fatherhood.
You're going to take care of the baby.
He has no choice. He's going to pay.
When you were saying a lot of things about a lot of folks, not defending any of these guys that I mentioned behavior, but what I'm saying is that it looks mighty strange, my guy. Mighty strange when you come out and it's kind of like you're doing the same thing. And now the floodgates are open, and if anybody has a gripe with you, they're all going to come to the front of the congregation. They're going to line up, testify, glory line. It's going to be a good old-fashioned revival. Big tent outside, no air conditioning. It's going to get hot in there, my guy, and I hope you learn from this one.
Man, shout out to THPP Network, man. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe, support what they're doing over there, because they're keeping it 100. They're keeping it 100. And I've been smart enough to understand this, man. He was running a gamble. He was running the player's gambit. That's what he was running. And it's going to cost him. And then Preach is just stuck with him, right? Good and bad. Stuck with him. What's Preach got to say about all this? If I'm not mistaken, Preach is married. Preach ain't in the streets like that. He got reasons, dude. Preach is a little dude. He might be like wide, but he's itty bitty. And even setting that aside, he understood early on, let me go ahead and get me a good woman now, a woman that I want, a woman that I consider good, and go ahead and start a relationship, get married and do all that. Looks like that's what he did. Right? So this bad as Fresh and Fit, if not worse. Going to those platforms, going in there as if you were a friend, being friendly, me doing a nice showing that you don't arm, but then you go in there and you pull out your sword anyway and you start slashing. That's day one of if you watch any of my content when I talk about Abba, that was my biggest gripe. Like, he's going down to Destiny's house, he's in Destiny's home dancing with Destiny's wife, talking, like trying to holler at her, flirting, all this kind of stuff, clearly pushing up on Destiny's wife at the time or whatever, little shorty that was living there. I never trust dudes like that. Never. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Do not invite the enemy into the castle. What are we doing?
Where it doesn't matter if you're a Manosphere content creator or you are a detractor or levying criticisms against these content creators. When it comes down to it, biologically, you're still a man at the end of the day. And it goes to show you that a little bit of clout, a little bit of money, a little bit of prestige will make a man go do very similar things, regardless of which ideology they believe in. when it ultimately comes down to show all of us that it matters in what type of steps you take, what type of actions that you make to show us how you truly lead.
That's when I meet Stephanie. We only met and then we cut contact. I didn't hear from her until many minutes later. And that is when she tells me that she was both pregnant. Was it mine? Was I involved? I have no idea.
Abba only talks about
one time
that he met Stephanie.
Bang her
But
both
Stephanie
times.
would counter that with this.
Here's my travel things. Then we met 2022 and 2026.
Oh, not the receipts.
So you can see the flight logs, okay?
Abba completely left out the fact that she met him just 2 months ago. Why he decided to leave that out, I'm not sure. But she brought her receipts. It looks like she's reading a book at his house, it appears, maybe, at the gym on March 17th. And then also this is her running around. All of these point to the fact that she's hanging out with Abba, yet on his stream, he failed to mention that. And this is, I don't know, man, this is kind of like nasty work in a way.
Where fans like myself take a step back, questioning all the hit pieces, all the videos, all that content that they've created about Fresh and Fit, about all these other Manosphere content creators. Is this the true position that Abba himself actually leads and believes in? Or is he just parroting an ideology back to the audience by seeming to be relatable to the average fan who do not have the same money, same clout, same sort of power that he is able to get in obtaining women that he's able to date that he normally would not be able to get?
Greetings, class. Professor Savage in the house. And today's word is hypocrite. A hypocrite is when someone fakes virtue, when someone acts like they are doing something that they're not doing. They're quick to criticize, but not quick to accept accountability. And when they're really talking accountability, when you hear their mouth move and talking those words, that's when you need to pay attention. My guy, Abba, it's time to step to the front of the congregation. You was out there slipping and sliding, but it seems like you and Fresh kind of like the same person. And listen, I'm not here to pocket watch, and I'm not here to watch what you did to them. But what I am going to say is that you had a whole lot to say about a whole lot. And when it came down to it, my guy, you was doing the same thing, the same clapping, the same recklessness, flying people in and flying people out. And when you got caught, you came out and you kind of dodged that accountability. Because one thing is for certain, you ain't got no room to talk about nobody. You dig?
With the Tip Network's final verdict, we can see the Abba and Preach brand has been compromised by Abba's actions off platform.
Facts.
In his personal life. Shows right there to all of us that the product is defective. When the lead man, the lead anchor, the key man on Abba and Preach is moving in similar vein and fashion as the Manosphere content creators that they are critiquing. Where if Abba himself, what type of commentary he would make, what type of criticisms he would have against an Abba that moves this particular way.
But when he engages in like actual behavior that I think is reprehensible, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You know, and unfortunately, we live in a world where optics matter. How you carry yourself matters. The things you say, the choice of words, the way you carry in your personal life, the way the drama spills out, it matters.
Maybe talking the talk, but he's not walking the walk.
Woo.
Where it sounds like to me, rules for thee, but not for Abba and Preach. If you want to get more deep diving analysis like this, then make sure you like and subscribe. And if you agree with my assessment, make sure you hype the video so this gets in front of more eyes. Now,
please do, man. Don DeMarco to the THPP network.
Don DeMarco.
Shout out to them boys. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What else can we say? What else can we say, son? Bruh. Abba, he put himself in it, didn't he? He put himself in it. Wow. It's just what else can we say, man? Wow, he put himself in it. Right? He was saying these things about these people. Yeah, I mean, everyone focused on Fresh and Fit because he went after them the hardest. And then you look at the money side. How much money did the Abba and Preach platform make off of Fresh and Fit, going back and forth, making these videos, being holier than thou and all that, right? Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. How much money did they make? You saw them videos. Abba and Preach probably again, not the pocket watch, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were getting just from AdSense alone thousands of dollars for each one of those videos, those hit piece videos, which now kind of to me reads like he was jealous. He was jealous. He was jealous that Fresh and Myron were getting a better caliber of woman he was. That's what it seems like to me. And if you go back and watch when he was in studio, now it makes sense. Because Preacher's like, I don't want anything to do with that platform. I don't go down there. We could talk about them boys, but I don't want to see them boys talking about Fresh and Fit. Abba flew down to Miami. He was in the studio. He did both shows. They did the one-on-one interview with him. Of course, they had the remote set up with Preach. Then they brought the girls in there. And I'm telling you, man, y'all need to understand human nature, male and female nature. I was watching, this is back when I was rocking with Fresh and Fit heavy back then. I watched that episode and I was paying close attention to Abba. That dude was in heaven. That dude couldn't wait to holler at them chicks. How many of them chicks that was on the panel that he was white knighting for that he smashed? He had to hit a couple of them. We'll find out because some of them girls, they going to step up. They going to step forward. He banged me too. He shot up the club. Right? He busted all up in. I asked him to put on a condom, but he didn't want to wear one. Right? He took me out. He bought me this. He took me shopping. All that's going to come out. All that's going to come out. Damn. I mean, wow. Right? Wow. Hypocrisy, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be out here and be a hypocrite, bro, it's going to catch up with you, man. Moral superiority is dangerous, right? It just is, man. You know, you never want to put yourself on the pedestal, right? That reaction video was really good and argued that Abba and Preach built part of their brand around being more ethically and more ethical and more accountable than other creators. And as whether that image matches Abba's personal conduct, I mean, he's endangered the brand. He's messing with their bag. You know, because once you believe you're morally superior, everyone else is just waiting for you to slip up. And that's a fact. You put yourself on that moral high ground, you put yourself in that moral high horse, people are waiting. They're waiting. You have no idea how many people want you to fall. Right? And look at this. This was over 2 months ago, man. I'm just now making a video because I'm watching other creators putting out videos. There's more information coming out. I didn't realize he actually came out on this platform and tried to talk about the issue. I've never been a fan of Abba and Preach. They show up in my feed every now and then because I try to watch the quote unquote blue pill content as well as the red pill content. I want to keep both sides coming. But I'll turn on a video and just leave the room, or I'll put the mute on and do whatever I'm doing so the video runs, but I'm not watching it. But I have to go back and watch some of these things. The way he handled it was just horrible. He should have just came out the box like, yeah, man, I was out there doing the same thing. Yep, I'm a hypocrite. My bad. I got to the money got good to me, and then maybe try to flip it. I'm gonna go get some help, maybe go with the I'm a sex addict or something like that. Maybe you could have went that route. I don't know. It's just when you want to sit there and comment on how people are moving, it's just a very slippery slope. Very, very slippery indeed. I mean, is there even a difference between being moral and acting morally superior? I think we can all agree on that one. I know what I think about that. Yeah. Right. Well, again, in the Bible, when they wanted to stone a woman for being an adulterer or whatever, what did Jesus say? He who is without sin cast the first stone. And we can get down, but I need the person who is without sin to cast the first stone. And it's funny because if you do believe, in that tradition, in that religion, Jesus is the only one standing there with no sin. So and he didn't throw the rock, looking at everybody else. I was the dude throwing the first stone with all kind of skeletons in his closet. He's been out here stoning these dudes, been out here, leading the charge to ruin Fresh and Fit. I mean, you look at, there's so many hate watchers of Fresh and Fit. There were so many people coming from Fresh and Fit, going into their chats, doing everything they can to get their platform taken down, get them banned, stop their videos, get them demonetized. People, reaching out, talking to YouTube, and it was effective. It worked. Fresh and Fit had to go to Rumble. It was Rumble who saved Fresh and Fit. right? And then they're still on YouTube, but they're still demonetized, even though all these other people are, monetized. It's still moving the way they were moving. They had to leave the original studio because people were calling the building and saying that they were tenants, which they were not. They were lying to management, just calling, complaining. When it was time to renew the lease, the building wanted to allegedly force them to remove the studio or they can't live there. So what did Myron do? He went and bought a condo, a huge one, so he can have the studio. Now no one can put him out of his building. They own that. But again, where did that come from? That came from people like Abba and Preach and Abba's followers going out there, going after this guy because they're listening to Abba and he's coming off as like the moral authority, kind of coming off as the Pope, sending out his crusaders. And then what was the Pope doing? Rocking out, doing the exact same stuff, banging 304s, doing the exact same stuff, stealing from people, right? Kind of, mimics history. Crazy work, man. Crazy work. But the internet loves to fall, right? I think we all know that. It isn't unique to Abba. Think about it. Fresh and Fit, Destiny, Andrew Tate, who recently got arrested Saturday, him and his brother down in Dade County. Sneeko, Kevin Samuels, they came for Kevin Samuels. They were celebrating when he passed. That was crazy. The man died and they were literally lining up to dance on his grave. Still are. Anyone who becomes influential eventually becomes the story, right? Why do audiences enjoy watching successful creators get exposed? Why is that? Is it just cheap entertainment? Why is that? Man, you see it all the time. We see it with politicians too. We see it with actors. Why is it that people is it because they were making the money? Is it because of the financial success? And it's like, at least, you still got that money, but at least now you've been knocked down a few pegs. I wonder what it is. I wonder what it is. And I got some questions for y'all, man. Who gets judged the hardest online, guys? Who gets judged the hardest online? Do me a favor, put your answers in the comments. Politicians, relationship coaches, red pill creators, female influencers, traditional media, right? Who gets judged the hardest online? Politicians, relationship coaches, red pill creators, female influencers, traditional media. Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I would definitely put red pill creators. I would put YouTubers at the bottom of that list. Politicians definitely towards the top. Traditional media definitely towards the top. And I would probably say relationship coaches or maybe like gurus, be it business, be it religion, be it relationship. I would put gurus in the middle. But let me know what y'all think. Right? Let me know what y'all think. So can you separate the message from the messenger? This is something I always preach, right? Especially with red pill content creators, when it comes to certain things, when we're talking about just how the sexual marketplace is working today outside, like right now, how it really works, dealing with technology, dealing with dating apps, dealing with social media, right? I can separate the message from the messenger. I can listen to whatever podcast, Coach Greg Adams. I can listen to Donovan Sharp, Fresh and Fit, the rest of them. And I can listen to stuff that makes sense to me. It was like, yep, that's good advice. Yep, you should do that. Yep, that makes sense. And I can also say, I don't know about that. That part, I'll leave that out there. This is not anyone's, like the whole Matrix attack. I think they take that too far. The whole thing when people were in the red pill space in the metal swamp coming after Jewish folks, taking it too far. Blaming everything on women, taking it too far. So what do I do, man? I take the meat. I eat. Pause. You eat the meat and you spit out the bone. I can do that. That's separating the message from the messenger. So here's a real question. Suppose Abba made mistakes. Does that automatically make his previous commentary invalid? Right? In his case, the moral commentary becomes invalid. I mean, man, that's a tough one. Like, because it's like, okay, there's still truth in what he was saying and how you should act and how you should move. There's still truth, even though he wasn't doing it. And he knew he wasn't doing it. In fact, he was breaking those moral rules as he was on his high horse, right? And talking down to the other people. So, suppose Abba made mistakes, which we see he clearly did. Does that automatically make his previous commentary invalid? Right? huh. And that's kind of what we were talking about. If a financial expert goes bankrupt, right, after talking all this stuff about being rich, that's how you make your money, and all of a sudden you lose all your money. I guess it depends on what they were talking about. You know, you have to go and analyze exactly what they were saying. Was that good information? Right? Does investing stop working if that happens with a financial expert? Of course not. Investing still works. You have to invest in the correct thing. If a marriage counselor gets divorced, a lot of these TradCon guys, there's a TradCon dude out there. He's like a big cowboy guy, wears a cowboy hat, has a big old cowboy beard and mustache, been married forever. He's like grandparent now. He's got grown kids and got grandkids. His wife just filed for divorce and is leaving him. And he's devastated. I was watching that on This Is Shaw. That's another great podcast. You should check that out, guys. This Is Shaw. That guy, the stuff he was talking about the traditional ways of being married and this and that. Now here he is, old man getting divorced by his wife, their grandparents now. She's leaving and she's taking half. But does that invalidate everything he was saying about, you know, traditional values? I'm not a traditionalist, but I'm sure there's some good in there, I guess. So if a marriage counselor gets divorced, was all of their advice worthless? Not all of it. You know, sometimes the messenger fails. The message still has value, right? I think we can agree on that. So accountability goes both ways. It goes both ways, and Abba was definitely wrong on this, man. The internet usually forgives honesty. It rarely forgives denial. So, you know, Abba came out. I'm gonna have to look at what he said, but from that clip, what he was saying didn't sound like accountability to me. And, you know, I think that's going to hurt their brand. I haven't looked at their numbers, but I'm pretty sure that's going to hurt their brand. People are going to turn off. A lot of those people are going to turn off. And a lot of those dudes, I think a lot of those guys are going to be pushed to the red pill, pushed to the manosphere. After watching this, it's like, oh, he's out here. I need to go ahead and just listen to what they're talking about. Listen to some of their techniques and do what Abba did and go out here and bang some chicks. I'll just wear a condom or get fixed. I'll get a vasectomy. But still, that's reckless behavior. You're going to do it. Just understand it's reckless and understand what may happen. There's going to be consequences. Just be ready for them. Should creators address controversies immediately or ignore them? Content creators, they got to jump on it while it's hot, bro. You know what I mean? If a story is hot, you got to jump on it. I wish I was able to jump on this 2 months ago when it broke. That's just part of the game. That's just part of the game, right? So just never put content creators on pedestals, man. Don't put actors on pedestals. Don't put politicians on pedestals, man. They're human. Success doesn't eliminate temptation. It only brings more temptation forward. So it's really on you. It's like I said, it's really difficult to say no to a beautiful woman. You know, these young guys coming up talking about their G's and all that. And I tell you, like, if you a real G, you can say no to a dime. If Abba had the experience of a true player, he would have been able to say no to those beautiful women, but he couldn't. Now he can, maybe. Maybe he's going to move a little different now. Maybe. I don't know. Did he learn his lesson? I don't know. But Abba's not the kind of guy that has that player mentality and enough experience to look and say, all right, she's fine and everything, but I ain't rocking with that. I ain't rocking with that. You know, money, attention, status, these things will test your character. They will test your character, bro. And if you let it, it will lead you down some crazy roads. I'm here to tell you. It'll lead you down some crazy roads. So the reaction video suggests that increased fame and influence can lead creators to behave differently than they once preached. Whether viewers agree with that conclusion is part of the debate, right? So it's up to y'all out there at the end of the day. You know, this thing is wild. You know what I mean? I've been preached, man, they were at the head of a legion of young people who were all, yay. You know, he's so right. He's so moral. Oh my God, I need to be like him. Meanwhile, Abba's out there slaying chicks left and right, unprotected, shooting up the club. I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at him at all. Been there, done that. I've had to deal with the fallout. I've had to deal with the consequences, and now he has to deal with it. The only difference is he has to do it in front of the world. They have millions of subscribers. I wonder where their numbers are now. I wonder how far they have fallen. And believe me, the mighty do fall often. So let me ask y'all, is Abba being treated fairly in all this, right? I say he's doing what's happening to him is what he has done to other people, right? Either rightly or wrongly, what's going on right now is how he's made his money, how he's made his clout, his fame. So, hey man, what's good for the goose? It's good for the gander. Can't cry about it. So is he being treated fairly? I say, yeah. Does hypocrisy destroy credibility? I don't know if it doesn't destroy it, it certainly damages it. Can someone still give good advice after making mistakes? I think they can give even better advice, especially if they learn from the mistake. I think so. But the question becomes, has he learned? What kind of person is he? Right? Is he going to be one of those persons like, well, I ain't like fresh. Like, you are worse than fresh. Is this accountability, the way we handle it? Or is this just internet outrage? Right? Which is it? It's a good question, right? Does this change how you watch Ivan preach? I've never really watched Ivan preach, so it doesn't really change the way I watch him. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it, but I guarantee you, and I haven't watched any under their content, but I'm about to over the next couple of days. I guarantee you they just kept on going. Speed bump, drove right over it. Boom. They don't care. Keep on going. Right. I think they might be, he's not going to be able to come off of that moral high ground, come off of that moral high horse. He's still going to do that. He's still going to keep doing his thing as if it never happened. And then the chat is going to go crazy. Right. Just like all of his blue pillars came for the red pill people in the chat. Now the red pillars are coming for them in the chat. Y'all saw what happened to Akash Singh. Same thing. And they went out to Fresh and Fit too. It's a lot of people who came out to Fresh and Fit getting their comeuppance. It's crazy, right, wrong, or indifferent. That's just what it is, right? And the final thoughts, man, like the lesson isn't really about Abba, is it? It's about all of us. It's about all of us. The louder you preach, the higher the standard people expect you to meet. When I'm on here talking my talk, bro, I try to dance that line. I'm like, hey, man, I'm just like, yo, I'm just an old dude. I'm trying to help you by sharing my experiences and my mistakes with you. Maybe you can avoid the same traps that I fell into. Maybe you can avoid them, right? But I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone, except for those losers that just give up and quit, the water boys of the world. Those guys who just blame women and blame society for their issues. I'm better than them. But I want them to work hard because they can be seen. They can do the work. They can become the best version of themselves and get into the game. But what Abba was doing and what a lot of those blue pillars are doing, they're out here talking this talk. And like old boy said in the video, in the THPP video, they're not walking the walk. At least Abba's not. Preach appears to be walking the walk. Right? So the higher the standard people expect you to meet, based on what you're saying, I think when the fall comes, those same people, the way they loved you, they're going to hate you. Right? So if you're going to criticize others, you should expect that same spotlight to be turned on you one day when it comes. Right? Expect it. And I've been sitting there. I don't know how he feels about it, but expect it. And I don't think people will ever trust him again when it comes to this kind of moral code, especially when it comes to women. They see him for who he is. Right? He is a blue pill simpleton, a white knight who wants the same thing that the red pillars are doing. The red pillars are doing it unapologetically. They're doing it their way. They're using game or whatever. And Abba's game is, I'm going to be your friend. You go, girl power. Feminism is great. And I'm going to get inside. And when your shields are down, I'm going to run up in your raw and bust all up in the club. That's his game. Everyone runs a certain game. That's what we talk about over here. There's all kind of game you can run. Abba is running that game like, I'm not like them. You go, girl. Right? Does he even mean that shit when he's talking to women? Every woman that he wants to work with is beautiful. Why? Because he's trying to have sex with them. That is his game. And hey, man, don't hate the player, hate the game. All's fair in love and war. That's how I look at it, man. So in closing, hey, man, nobody's perfect, right? No one should pretend to be. Don't pretend to be perfect. You're going to wreck yourself. The strongest position isn't pretending you've never made mistakes. It's being willing to own them when you do. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. So Hey, man, that's it. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this Abba thing. I'm 2 months late, but I don't care. I'm going to make up for it. We're going to do some more videos about this. Crazy work, man. Crazy work. Where are y'all? Let me know. I'm serious. If you're an Abba supporter, you're an Abba and Preach person, and you in the, you know what I mean, you want to come in and start wilding out and trolling and all that, that's cool. I want you to troll, but do me a favor. Just let me know where you stand on all this. Like, yo, were you hurt? You know what I mean? A little bit. Were you disappointed? And what's up now? Like, does he still hold that really high moral ground in your opinion? Or is it like, well, you know, he might have made a mistake, but he's not as bad as the red pillers? Let me know in the comments for all you Abba and Preach supporters. For all you red pill dudes, I already know what y'all gonna do, man. Go ahead and do it. I can't wait to see all these comments, right? I hope they come through. We're a small platform over here, but one day we're gonna break through into the algorithm. And guys, let this be a lesson. The game don't care, bro. You can come from the red pill world, you can come from the blue pill world, or any world in between. It doesn't matter. Female nature is female nature. The game ain't never gonna change. And if you get out here and you do something, you get big enough and you piss her off, she has an option to come for you, bro. And she's gonna come for the gut, bro. She's gonna come for the jugular. And that's just how the game is. All right. So be upfront. Don't lie to her. Tell her up front. Tell her up front. So when those receipts come out, you can say, yep, that's what I said. Yep, that's what I did. She understood. She's a grown up. She's a grown up. I'm a grown up. She agreed. Because if you lie, they're gonna get you, bro. And they're gonna have the mob on their side. I'm DL Saint. This is the I Really Want to Know podcast. Man, I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.